Here we are. It's video number 4. Give yourselves a hand for making it to video number 4 in our habit series. Yay! We're so glad you're here. In the first video, we talked about what is a habit and how to start tracking habits. That's the fun part. In the second video, we talked about the cool mechanisms in your mind that your habits become once you've learned something, helpful or not helpful, and how long it takes to develop a habit. In the third video, we looked at some fine-tuning techniques about habits. Don't try to start too big of a habit and start again as soon as you can. And when you drift off, get back on it. And tiny baby steps makes a big difference over time. So to wrap up our habit series, we're going to look at some big concepts that underlie your habits and really make them stick. Hello, it's Mira Binzen, author and co-founder of Global Family Wellness. With my mom and sister, we are here to support your family in experiencing total well-being. So in this video, number 4 of our habit series, we're going to talk about some big concepts. We're going to talk about awareness, purpose, and identity. We like to go deep. We like to get at the root cause of things, and we like to get at the root support of things as well. And these are the roots that support your habit. So the first one is awareness. Your awareness, like paying attention, is like the sun. And when you shine it, whatever you're shining upon grows, just like the sun. And so habits are meant to be something that's out of our awareness. That's how it becomes energy efficient in your brain. Having automated habits is great. I mean, imagine if you had to pay attention to every single thing you did throughout your day, but you also don't want to miss out on life because you're not experiencing it. You're not fully present. So this is the difference between living your life on autopilot and being the captain of your own ship. So choose the things that you want to just let run on autopilot. And for example, like maybe eating, you want to do with more awareness. I have a funny story about this. When I was probably in like first grade, I got to pass out the cookies in class. Like it was somebody's birthday and I got to pass out cookies to my classmates. And I had my own cookie as I passed out the other cookies. By the time I was done passing out these cookies, mine was gone. I'm like, where's my cookie? Well, I had eaten it habitually, not paying attention, and I missed out on the experience of enjoying that nice birthday cookie that my classmates had brought. So paying attention, having awareness is a very powerful life skill, and you can do it with anything, anytime. So in regards to our habits, we want to be aware of what are we doing and why are we doing it? And that brings us to the second root that supports our habits. And this is a biggie. This is about purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? When I'm teaching in a class of kids and I ask them, what brings you here today? A lot of times, especially the little ones, will say, well, my mom made me come, right? It's like, yeah, that's true. That's how you got here. Now that you're here, what do you want to get out of this experience? So what's your purpose for being here? So oftentimes as kids, your parents are telling you what to do, and they may or may not be telling you why. But also, between the ages of 6 and 8 years old, you can certainly start to make empowered choices. Like, why do I want to do this habit? My habit example in this video series is meditation, because this is a core habit that can really make a positive influence in your life because you start to develop mastery of your mind. And that's huge. It affects all aspects of your life in a very positive way. So why do I want to meditate? What's my purpose for meditating? And so understanding your purpose is what is going to make the habit stick. In the last video, we talked about drift and falling off your habit and how as soon as you recognize you've fallen off, you want to get back on it again. But why? Why are you going to get back on again? Because it's important to you. You have a purpose. You have a reason for doing it. For example, with meditation, my purpose for meditating every day, which I do for a lot longer than 2 minutes, but I started with 2 minutes, is that I feel better. My mind can get very jangly. I can get really dysregulated. And for me, a key strategy is to meditate every day. So I'm training my mind to be stronger. Our minds are so powerful, but that power is unfocused. And when we focus it, it becomes like a laser beam and we can cut through anything. We can understand ourselves and the world better. And so I have a strong purpose, and that helps me stick with my habit. Habits can keep you stuck, or they can help you grow into your best life. So grab your journal or your captain's log and write down some reasons why you want to do this habit. And if you haven't already, be sure to download the habit tracker that we've created for you. So we've got awareness, paying attention to what is as it is. So we're not wanting things to be different. We're not fighting with what is. We're noticing. And then along with that, a purpose for doing what we're doing. So we're paying attention to our habits. We have a purpose for our habits. And the third one is pretty cool. And the best description I've seen of this is in my other favorite habits book, which is Atomic Habits by James Clear. In it, he talks about what really makes a habit stick is that you identify as a person who does that habit. So think about the difference between this, like, oh, I have to go meditate, versus I'm a meditator. If you're a meditator, you're going to sit down and meditate every morning because that's who you are. So identity is something that you develop in the process of doing that habit. So the first time you meditate, you might not say, well, I'm a meditator. As you continue the habit of meditation, you do become a meditator. And then instead of saying, I need to meditate or I'm going to go meditate, you say, I'm a meditator. And then because you're a meditator, you're going to meditate. So identity is a really cool component of making your habits really stick. So another example is, we're the kind of family that walks together after dinner. That's just who we are. That's what we do as a family. And so that identity, identifying yourself as a person who does that habit, is what is really going to anchor that habit into your life. So it also is true for habits that aren't supportive in your life. So be aware of that too. Oh, I'm an anxious person. I don't like to get on the bus because I'm anxious. You're identifying with that habit of not wanting to get on the bus too. So we come back to awareness and we become aware, like, am I identifying with this habit that's supporting me? Or am I identifying with this habit that isn't supporting me? And so you use your flashlight of awareness to make empowered choices, and you have a purpose for doing your habit, and you identify as a person who does this positive habit. Before we wrap up our 4-part video series on habits, there's one more thing I wanted to address, and that is to check in with your habits. We promote seasonal reviews of your lifestyle and your schedule and what you're doing and why. And so habits that serve you at one point in your life or at one time of the year might not be appropriate for another time of year. So on your birthday, once a year is a great time to kind of check in on your habits. Like, what are we doing? How are we doing it? Why are we doing it? Is it working for us? And also seasonally, it's easy to think about the equinoxes of each year and the solstices of each year as a reminder, like, let's check in and see how our habits are going. Are there any habits that we want to reaffirm and continue and revisit our purpose for why we're doing our habits? Or are there some habits that no longer serve us that we're ready to let go of? And are there any new habits that we want to develop? You can totally do this, right? Isn't it so cool? It's like this is the driver's ed manual for your body and your mind. And as children are developing anyways, it's such a great time to develop this empowered thinking, this I'm driving my own vehicle, my own body and mind. And so habits really are the foundation to a life of well-being. And you can start small and you can do just one thing and it will make a difference. And I'm so glad that you've joined us for this habit series. And we would love to hear from you. So please comment below. Tell us where you're at with your habits. Are you on day 1 or have you been using this habit tracker all along and you've got a 21-day habit that's now moved from the big, huge gas-guzzling Ferrari part of your brain over into the electric bicycle automation, energy efficient part of your brain. And then you can just recycle it and do it again and again and again. And even though it doesn't seem like much, when you're a grown up, you're gonna have a different life. You're gonna have a better, more positive life. And so that's why I love to share these practices with families. Thank you for joining us. Please subscribe to our channel and share it with anyone else you think would benefit from these resources. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you again soon.